The dad came at you and made some comments. What is the deal? So just because simply you cover boxing, you've been boisterous and you've said.
Let's hear it.
Paulie Malignaggi,
Timothy Bradley,
Chris Algieri, Steve Kim, maybe Mario Lopez, maybe. But they're all piece of shit, okay?
Oh, shit.
And I'm so glad they fucking lost. And Ryan.
Why maybe Mario?
Well, because he's a celebrity, and that's the culture. I kind of feel bad for Mario because he's catching the strays because just association with me and the shrapnel.
That's why he said maybe.
But it isn't just that I picked Ryan Garcia. It isn't. No, I don't want to say it's gotten personal, but I've been the one guy that's probably had more guts to say things about Ryan. Like when Ryan pulled out of a fight with mental health issues or problems about 3 years ago, he did it. I remember on a Saturday, the announcement came out. So he's not going to fight Fortuna, which ended up fighting like a year and a half later. Here was the problem with that announcement. And the family hated us. I mean, the Mario got all these texts from the mom. It was insufferable. So on Saturday, you're saying, I have mental health issues. I need to pull out. We're like, okay, it's a serious issue. That Sunday, there's social media of him and his girl at the beach in Hawaii on vacation. So I don't know. Are you on vacation or are you on a mental health recovery? Like if you're a drug addict, I want you at Betty Ford. I don't want you in Tijuana. That's just the way I am. And everyone questioned it, but I really got like, wait a minute. You put your life in a fishbowl and now you're claiming that. The other thing I thought was funny was, so this is another one. This probably really got them pissed off at me. Uh-oh. So then the mom, a short time later, and they were pissed off when I did that. The lawyer was trying to text me, and I just said to Lupe Valencia, Lupe, look, do what you want, but I think you're an enabler. I think this is very disingenuous what you're doing. The other thing was the mom, a short time, about several months later, there was a Stanford soccer player, a young lady that was a goalie. She killed herself. Something happened where she had some real issues. She killed herself. So the mom tags me and some other people, putting up her pictures, like, this is why we are mental health advocates. And it's such a serious issue. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you're such a serious issue that when you claim mental health, you went to Hawaii and you're posting up social media videos. So I replied to her. I said, lady, this girl killed herself and you're using it to clout chase. You know how low that is? So then she came back with something else. So then this is where I probably went over the line, but I still stick by my word. I said, lady, half your son stresses that you and your husband don't want to get a job and live off your son. Ooh, it is the truth. And she deleted that ended the conversation. She's never tagged me on a post. But again, am I being honest?
You went for yeah. You might have been honest, but damn, Steve.
At that point,
that's personal right there.
But it's the truth though, because the parents have been fired from Ryan. I know that more than once. They've been excommunicated. And so she deleted that real quick. And I'm like, lady, don't tag me in this, because that is a form of exploitation over someone that actually probably really had an issue that paid the ultimate price. Now, prior to this fight, like I told you, I said, is it proper for a supposed mental health advocate to quote unquote act crazy? Okay. And the other thing is, can you say, praise Jesus, I'm a man of God, and suck my dizzle 5 minutes later? So you're saying that we're not supposed to notice this, that this is a faith of convenience? And I disagree with Tim Bradley. I love Tim, but Tim says that he has to be a role model because a lot of kids are, no, he doesn't. That'd be anything. He does not have to be a role model. But we have the right to say, that's a little hypocritical. You're living into a little bit of a lie. And the other thing is, I don't really mind Ryan. It doesn't anger me. I'm just going to make an observation here. I'm not trying to be his friend. And the other thing is, well, Steve, you're just an older guy who doesn't get it. You're right. I'm going to act my age. See, I'm not going to ever be that old guy that tries to be cool. I'm going to be me. I have a right not to like the act. I get the act. I never said, I'll be the one guy that said 6 weeks ago, this fight's going to happen. I never worried about it. I said it's going to happen because he needs the money. He's a capitalist, which he's allowed to be. And to the victor go the spoils. But he has to realize, Ryan's father, maybe other guys will start to try to be nicer and have an all. I'm not. I don't really care if you like me or not. It's fine. Because my biggest accomplishment in life will not be living off of a son. It is what it is. I mean,
Steve is on fire right now.
I'm just being honest. I found this whole thing to be amusing. I'm actually flattered that you care that much about what we say. And me and Mario addressed it. I kind of feel bad for Mario because he has been more diplomatic. But again, Mario has been honest too, to a point. And now all these jock-sniffing, pom-pom waving Garcia fans who just suddenly jumped on the bandwagon are after Mario. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. You people are phony. You see Mario in the mall, first thing you'd be asking for is a selfie. These people have no honor. None.
Steve, I told
Smitty
to start the show. I said, when you sugarcoat a lie, it's nothing more than a lie. When you sugarcoat the truth, it's just a lie.
Yeah.
And I say all the time, I'm like, people can't differentiate between the truth and opinion. And then they think it's hate. And I'm like, no, we're just telling you the truth. It doesn't mean that we're hating. Same thing with you. I think it's good for business that he called you out.
I mean, look, I'm fair about it. And this is another thing that they hated. Last year, when Tank Davis put on a catch weight of 136 pounds, which really starved Ryan, I didn't like that. Then they put in a second-day weigh-in for a rehydration clause to really hamper his weigh-in. And they also agreed to a later first weigh-in. So instead of being at 8 o'clock in the morning, it was at 3 in the afternoon. And again, that's 2 meals. That is 2 meals to a fighter that's starving. I'm the one guy that said, I hate all of this for Ryan, and Ryan overruled his promoter, which he then blamed. Oscar never protected me. And again, this is where I get in trouble. Having a little bit of ethical and moral fiber, I said, Ryan, you agreed to all of that. In fact, you told Oscar, if you don't do this, I'm going to hate you, and you're not doing your job. But and after the fight, Ryan kept chirping and complaining that he was not protected. Well, you didn't allow yourself to be protected. And then Oscar, to his credit, on a tweet said, hey, kid, shut up. We gave you everything you wanted. You asked for this. I was more than happy to retweet all that. And so that's the whole thing. And then another thing is he lied again after the Tank Davis fight. He gets knocked out. Oscar was basically barred from the post-fight press conference. And he said, nobody from Golden Boy came to see me. Really? Meanwhile, Bernard Hopkins had a video minutes after the fight checking in on Ryan. So again, you're not telling the truth. You have a lot of people that are sycophantic in nature, which is fine, but don't make me to be the bad guy because I'm actually pointing out empirical truths. I will give you credit for winning. I thought you won the fight. You deserve it. But this is where I'm a bad guy again. You did game the system. You did game the system.
So in summation, you said a lot and you beautifully said everything you said. We appreciate the breakdown that you just gave us and the fans. In summation, if you had Ryan Garcia and his father, his camp right here on the show right now, what would you like to tell them? What would your message be to the Ryan Garcia camp and family?
I would say congratulations on the win. You did it. You get the credit. And number two, you don't have to like me. We're good. We don't ever have to talk. We don't ever have to get along. I don't see a lot of these other boxing media guys. They need the access. I really don't. I'm probably getting out of this sport more than I'm getting into it. I got other options. But I'll always give credit. If Saddam Hussein was the best fighter in the world, I'd be like, man, that's Saddam Hussein's #1 on my pound for pound list. I mean, that's just the way it is.
I'm the same way, man. People are like, no, you can't do it. Like,
if Osama bin Laden scored 40 points a game in the NBA, I'd be like, that's the best player.
He be like, hey, man, Osama's a bad man.
His mid-range is good. His post-game, his fadeaway. I don't see. Here's the thing. It's like the other thing. Like, so I think we were asked on 3 knockdown rule yesterday, and it's going to come out later today. Well, then where do you guys have Ryan Garcia now in your pound for pound? Well, I didn't have Devin Haney on my pound for pound. I thought he got beat by Loma.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. When you change the weight class, here's the thing that people say it was only 3 pounds. I saw a fight where Scott Quigg blew off the weight against Oscar Valdez by about 3 pounds, and they fought in the rain at the StubHub Center. And it was no doubt about it. Scott Quigg, I think, did that on purpose, gained an advantage. It ended up breaking Oscar Valdez's jaw. So when people say it's only 3 pounds, it's only 3 pounds if you're not the one taking the punches to the face. There's a reason why we have weight classes. There's a reason why we have protocol. But with that said, Haney and his team kept thinking, and they said it themselves, this is a C-level fighter. He's not that good. They took the bait. They took the bait, and they have to live with that result.
Yeah, man. Steve, it's like O.J. Simpson. I don't care if he's running down the field or down South Bundy Avenue. He's still the best.
Well, I actually did. I saw a video of O.J. I was doing some research on him, and it was like a tribute video of all his highlights. But they included a lot of other stuff. And I had forgotten the NFL Network did a top 100 players of all time. This is about 7-8 years ago. Number 1 was Jerry Rice. Number 2 was Jim Brown. And I had forgotten because they showed that one clip. They put OJ at 40. And I'm thinking, timeout. There are not 39 players better than O.J. Simpson. OJ was considered the best player in the 70s. Now, he may have been the most hated person of the past 30 years, but from the 70s on, when Lou Saban came into his life as his coach, he was considered the best offensive player in football. Joe Green was probably the best defensive player. I will guarantee you this. O.J. Simpson is a lot closer to being one of the top 6 or 7 players of all time than he is the 40th. But people are afraid to just say it. They cannot divorce the athlete from the person.
I'm actually going back and looking at him and Dickerson and some upright runners that were big and long and 6'3"-ish. Like him and Dickerson were Walter Payton. Those 3 right there are set different than a lot.
Yeah, and Payton was a little bit smaller. The one thing about OJ, and I'm watching a lot of his clips, he was a much better pass catcher than I remember. It wasn't just swing passes or screens. He was actually getting down the field, catching passes, wheel routes, seam routes. In today's game at his size, he could have actually been a number 1 receiver. That's how gifted this guy really was. And all of that's overshadowed. I get it. There are more important things. But if you do not have the guts to just honestly rank O.J. Simpson, putting everything else aside, and you rank him lower because you don't want the heat, you're gutless. You're absolutely, and you're dishonest.
Yep.